Friends, happy Easter. We've journeyed through Lent, through Holy Week, and now we're finally here. We can eat an Easter egg, if you haven't already, that is, and celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Have you ever been in shock and perhaps had to have a sugary tea after something that you've witnessed or something that's happened to you? I remember when I broke my wrist in my teenage years, having to lie down in the dark and in the woods because I'd gone into shock. Well, the story of the resurrection begins with shock. After a tumultuous week for Jesus' followers, their leader had been taken from them, put on trial, and then crucified. You can perhaps begin to imagine just how emotionally and spiritually vulnerable this group of people had become. And so on the Sunday morning, the women draw away, they go to the tomb, they're going to anoint Jesus' body, but they get there, and Jesus' body is gone, and they're met by an angel. "Do not be afraid, do not be alarmed," says the angel. "You look for Jesus of Nazareth, but he is not here. He was crucified, but now he is risen. Go and tell the disciples that Jesus goes ahead of you to Galilee, and you will see him there." At that message, we might think the women would be filled with joy and wonder and amazement, but we're told they're seized with amazement and terror. Jesus is alive, but we're told that they say nothing to anyone because they're afraid. I think they were in shock, needing some time for the news to set in, because eventually the women do go and tell the disciples, and the disciples then meet the risen Jesus, and they're filled with joy and wonder. In very different circumstances, we have had a year that has shocked us and shaken us, but the truth of Easter remains the same. Jesus has risen, and that sends shockwaves around the world until the very end of time. Because God knew that the world was a mess. God could see the mess. And so God sends Jesus. And while some of the reasoning is surrounded in mystery and quite a lot of debate, somehow, Jesus' life, death and resurrection leads to the deepest and strongest love that has ever and will ever exist, being outpoured onto the world and onto you. Friends, hear me today. Share this shockwave that comes to the world and onto you. You are loved. You are forgiven. You can find freedom. Yes, you. Because the Easter story, the Easter shockwave does all of that and more with hope and with certainty, because it doesn't end there. Jesus invites us into a relationship, a partnership and a journey to be partners in the shockwave of the story that is filled with mystery and wonder, joy and celebration. We are loved, we are forgiven, we are free. And just as we're a diverse human race, we all experience that journey differently. Ask anyone who's partnered with Jesus, and they will tell a different story of mystery and wonder and joy. But threaded through them all is the truth that we are loved and forgiven and freed. Folks, today I invite you into that journey that is the shockwave of Easter. If you want to know more, and I really hope you do, please get in touch with me or with your local church and share your story and discover the threads of love and forgiveness and freedom that Jesus has already woven for you. Happy Easter.